Trauma bond is this aspect that makes you feel crazy, makes you feel insane, and you're confused right now if the person you're with, if they're actually toxic or if they're healthy. Like if it's you or if it's them, like whose fault is it? What is actually going on? The piece of the trauma bond that gets people so confused, so messed up, so like feeling like just a mind F of what's going on is because they don't know what's actually real in the relationship. Like you've been in the relationship with this person and he says that, hey, I love you, but it doesn't show up that way. Like it doesn't show up in a way that actually honors you, that actually values you, that actually cares about you, but instead shows up in a very like violent, abusive way. And so you're trying to engage with this person and they're unwilling to actually engage with truth, with honesty. And it leads you to this place of being confused of like, I don't know what's actually real. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to be able to move past this. If you ever felt any of these things, type in me in the chat. Like, I want to know, have you felt this aspect of you're with someone and you feel crazy because of what they're telling you? Like, they tell you one thing, they say, hey, I care about you, but the actions don't seem to be there. The actions don't seem to validate the things that he's telling you. Like, if this is you, type in me in the chat right now. This piece that you're struggling with is oftentimes termed as cognitive dissonance. It's a piece that actually attaches into this whole aspect of a trauma bond. And this trauma bond makes you feel addicted to the other person, makes you feel like obsessed. I was working with someone the other day and she was like, I know he's not good for me, but I'm still obsessed with him. I still want to go back to him. Like, I know he's toxic. I know every time I'm with him, like I get more anxiety, I get more stress, I get more frustrated, but I can't just stay no contact. I can't stay away from him. Like this piece is difficult for a lot of people to get and a lot of people to understand because you have friends and family that are looking at you. They're like, just leave, like, just get over it, just move on. And you're like, it's not that simple because it feels like an addiction. You might be in this addiction right now and there is absolutely no peace. There's anxiety, there's stress, there's frustration, there's worry, there's fear. And you're like, I don't know how to actually get out of it because it's racking your entire body. Like it's causing you sleepless nights, is causing you at the place where like you don't know what to do, is causing you to lash out at your kids that you don't normally do this. This isn't who you are. And you're standing there looking in the mirror and you're like, I don't understand what's going on. This piece of the trauma bond affects your purpose, like your vision, your values, who you actually want to be, the person you're. You have no clarity. The person that you used to be, you can't seem to access anymore. You can't seem to find. And you're like, I don't know how to be able to access that anymore. I don't know what that actually looks like anymore. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and we were talking through her journey and seeing where she's at now. Where she's at now of being completely no contact, and how she's moving and growing and thriving in her life today. Like right now, she's running a business that is like moving faster than what she ever thought. She's doing things she never thought she could even do because she was so stuck for such a long period of time in the toxicity, in the toxic relationship. And it wasn't until we started working through this process of her getting really real with the facts of the situation, of understanding the story that she was telling herself, understanding that she feels stuck over and over and over again, and getting her to a place where she understood she could actually be free from this. She could actually move forward, and she has. It's amazing to be able to see this because we started to see this pattern of when she was in contact, the fog that would come back in, we'd get her back out, she'd feel a bit better, then she'd go right back in. We started to notice the trauma bond kept affecting her until she finally was able to face the facts. And we had to talk through, what are the facts? Like, what actually happens when this happens? How does it make you feel? What shows up? And we were able to get really granular, saying, this is what's going on. We wrote it all down so she could actually see. This is what goes on when I communicate with this person. This is what they say. This is what they do. All these things to get real with the facts. And then we had to sit down and be like, okay, now we got to struggle with it because right now your mind is telling you something different than what these facts are showing. And so we struggle with it, go back and forth. We get to the place where she's like, okay, now I get it. I see it. I'm like, okay, now this takes a moment of you making a decision. And she made a decision. But the decision was different because it wasn't me telling her go no contact. It wasn't me telling her how to get healed. It wasn't me telling her or showing her or getting her to do a certain thing. It was her finally making the decision for her. And the difference in her face, in her energy was like ecstatic because she was finally making a decision for her. Not for anyone else, but for her. Absolutely incredible. To be able to see someone stuck in the pit, to be able to see them at the place of where they're unlocking another version of themselves that they've never had access to before because of going through cycle and cycle and cycle of abusive relationship, to be able to say, I no longer want that. I no longer need that. I no longer crave that. I no longer feel that obsession for that, and have her actually continue to move forward and thrive and grow and be the person she's called to be. Absolutely incredible. That peace is available to you every single day. But it comes down to a couple principles that we have to look at. One is the aspect of getting really real with the facts. Not your truth, not your stories, not your beliefs, not your ideas, but just the facts. What has been demonstrated on a day-to-day basis inside the relationship? Toxic, not toxic, what has been demonstrated? And as you look at the facts, then we have to approach it and we have to say, okay, how do you actually feel about that? Is this working for you? Is this not working? What does this actually look like? And you get to the place where you're like, okay, it either is or it isn't. Then from there, understanding what is in the way of what you want. So getting real with the facts, understanding how you feel about it, and then deciding, is this working or not working? And then moving forward with a decision of what do you need to do? What is required for you to actually move forward in your growth and in your development? That could be working with us here at Raw Motivations. That could be us pointing you in another direction. That could be with anything. And if you're curious today of like, I don't know where I fit into this, I don't know where I am with my healing journey, then I want you to shoot me a DM. Like, just message us and let us talk to you and be like, okay, let's see where you're at. Let's see how we can help you move forward. Because until we get really clear on the facts of the situation of where you are currently now, nothing will change. You'll be stuck. You'll be frustrated. You'll be in the pit. You'll be hurt. And we won't have the growth that you so desperately desire.